field. Just seen a thrilling women's 1500-meter final. It's time now for the Nike men's 1500 featuring Yared Nuguse.
Lee, everyone needs to learn this name, Yared Nuguse. He is going to be a person to watch, definitely a medal contender coming up. He's had an unbelievable year setting American records indoors, running extremely fast outdoors. You know, he had to be convinced to go out for track. He was on the bowling team, and his PE teacher convinced him to talk to the coach and go out for track, and look at him now. He's going to be wearing a heart rate monitor today, and we'll be able to see his heart rate fluctuate throughout this race. He's always very, very calm at the start of a race.
There'll be a graphic down on the bottom left of your screen, so you'll be able to monitor that, and we thank the athletes across the entire weekend who have been willing to do that. Here is another one to keep an eye on. It's the 22-year-old Cole Hocker.
Cole Hocker is still so young. We'll remember him from winning the Olympic trials back in 2021 and placing 6th at the Tokyo Olympics. He has struggled quite a bit the last 2 years with injuries, with Achilles problems, but he is healthy, and a healthy Cole Hocker is extremely dangerously. Pay attention to where he is in the race, because he's there. The kick is outrageously dangerous.
And they love him here. They love him here on the grounds of the University of Oregon.
Of course they do. He was an Oregon Duck and won NCAA titles for them, and he and Yared Nuguse battled it out.
Yes, there's Centro, Matthew Centrowitz, the Rio Olympic champion in blue. It is part of a comeback campaign for Centro, and we'll monitor his race. There is the full field for you. This is going to be a thriller.
This is going to be a good race. There's a lot of great men in here. We also want to keep our eye on Hobbs Kessler with hip number 9, a very, very young man, only 20 years old, has the world championship standard, has been training out in Michigan, and has been looked very good. He said he's matured a lot this year. He doesn't push himself as much in workouts. He lets it come to him. Consistency is key, and has shown in his results.
He's only 20. He said, look, I'm maturing in every sense. You know, even physically, I'm getting a little bit bigger. I'd like to be a bit more muscular. And he said, I'm maturing in my racecraft, in every aspect of my craft. So it's early days, but I'm making strides. He had a rough spring, but he said, I pushed through that, and I've grown because of that.
Yeah, and it's interesting to see him following here now, not being afraid to put himself in the mix. We see Nuguse in the front. He is not afraid to lead. He is comfortable leading. He doesn't think anyone can get him from any sort of situation. He's comfortable being in the front, setting the tone, and making everyone follow him.
Just going to take a break as we continue to watch this and check in with Trey and Paul for women's shot put. Fellas?
Fast, really balanced right there for Maggie Ewan.
And there's Dad Bruce and Mom Christy, both pretty good collegiate athletes in their day. Dad was at Illinois State, an All-American thrower. Christy played volleyball at Ohio State, and they have a daughter who's leading the women's shot put competition. Back to the track.
Yared Nuguse, the relaxed way that you see him run is pretty much emblematic of the personality. He is a humble hero. He's chilled.
Yeah, and he truly believes that running does not define him. So when he goes out, he is a killer. He wants to win, but he can walk away. He just doesn't think that this is what his entire identity is. We see Hobbs Kessler tucked in nicely behind him, riding that rail, and right behind him is Cole Hocker. Remember, Cole Hocker has that devastating kick. They want to shake rid of him before it comes down to that final 200 meters.
There's Nuguse's heart rate, 192, 193. Eric Holt all in black there with number 1 on his hip.
I mean, key jumps coming in the pole vault. Round 5 in the...
Here we go, Lee. This is where it matters. This is where you have to dig deep and wonder how much do you want it. We see Cole Hocker now moving up. He knows he can't let Nuguse get that far away from him. Hobbs Kessler needs to stay intact here and stay with this lead.
Doing a great job, too, is the 22-year-old Joe Waskom. All in blue there with the big W on his chest. He goes past Yared Nuguse. Cole Hocker said, it doesn't matter what kind of race it is, I will be there. If I have to rely on my kick, I will. But they're all chasing Joe Waskom out front. Here comes Yared Nuguse now with Cole Hocker on his outside. Cole Hocker out wide. Nuguse, Waskom, Hobbs Kessler on the inside. It's going to be Yared Nuguse. national championship in a 3:34.90. Almost a meet record.
Look, Lee, as I said, Nuguse can win from any angle, and he just showed that. He took the lead, he did the work, he looked a little tired over that final 200, like maybe he had gone too much too early, and yet he found another skill to pull that back out and run away from the field. As they came around the corner here, it looked like Nuguse maybe had left it out too early, but he just knows how to win, and he wants it so bad. He swings wide, finds his form, and powers by. We see Cole Hocker kicking into that third spot, but Nuguse, he's just on a different level right now. And here we see his heart rate is absolutely maxed out right in this moment. His knees are hard to lift. His hands are tingling. He's tasting those pennies, but it's worth it. He's going to come away with a U.S. title.
201 beats per minute on the way to a national championship for Yared Nuguse. Oh, yeah. What a feeling and what a race. And Cole Hocker did have to rely on that kick to get home as he comes home third behind Joe Waskom. Now, it's important to note, Kara, that Waskom does not have the standard, the time for the World Championships, but he does have time on his side because those World Championships are 42 days away. He'll have other meets to try and meet that world standard.